going on, everybody? Welcome back to Postgame stream. Tyler Huntley just got his first career start, and he ended up defeating the Chicago Bears. He came in very late, and that's something that I think the Ravens are going to have to look at is like, hey, here's a guy that can come in as a backup and do his job. But Joshua, what did you think about this game? What were your overall thoughts?
My overall thoughts about this game, honestly, I don't know. I'm a little lost for words. I guess I'm lost for words for the simple fact that you know, we still play the Ravens way. The Ravens way of this team. We came out a little flat. The run was looking a little decent here and there. Defense was looking good, but eventually it started giving in. Excuse me, but hey, we got the dub. We 7-3. We sitting pretty high in the AFC North. It's good that everybody else is taking L's like the Bills and stuff like that. So I'll take it. I'll take it for right now.
Yeah, whenever you're playing, especially with a backup, all that matters is if you get the win or not.
Yeah.
It looked pretty bad. Mr. Chief brings up the blitz on 4th and 11. Have we not learned our lesson about Andy Dalton on 4th down?
No, not at all.
Against the Ravens? Like, I don't understand why they do that. And then I love how they do the exact thing that the Ravens refused to do against Miami, where they're like, oh, they're going to run cover 0. Let's run a double move. And it worked. Shout out to them for knowing fundamental football. But yeah, that was a really bad call in my opinion. But what are you agreeing? Was that a terrible call or like?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that was a terrible call, man. And also, unfortunately, I know this is supposed to be a post game. I know we're supposed to be talking about the Ravens win, but shout out to that Bears defense, that front four. That front four was getting to it. I know our O line has been atrocious, but it just, the more games we keep on playing, we're going to see more chinks in the armor and being exposed, and that O line for sure is definitely one of those chinks in our armor right now because it definitely wasn't the best.
Yeah, that O line was terrible, and that's what's sad. It's like we had Makari. That was the offensive line that the Ravens start weekly. That was everybody is here, and they were terrible. Like the Ravens couldn't throw the ball in the first half because it was just instant pressure every single time. And it was, that's what Lamar's been dealing with. And that just shows how good Lamar Jackson is. Fat Nick says, Brandon Steams need to be sat down. Okay, Brandon Steams played terribly. That big touchdown was his fault. Oh my gosh, the tackling is just like, in so many situations, it's just the worst pursuit angles. Just so bad. Like they're just so out of position so often.
Yeah, man. I know we talked about it earlier before the game, about getting our Darius in there. I mean, hey, this is gonna happen, but I feel like our chances will probably be better with our Darius because he's been playing safety for just about dang his whole career. So, maybe next week there could be some adjustments where he gets more play time, or maybe we'll get Jimmy Smith back. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, and Cam Neal says, but defense, wink. Why does it seem like there are times when no one on our coaching staff has situational awareness? It's, oh my gosh, there's just so many things that are just like Wink Martindale. It's like the defense has typically played like pretty good for most of the games, but it's so often where there are just like they just allow just stupid plays and stupid touchdowns that make no sense. Where it's like twice a game, there are just completely busted plays that work out, and we very clearly saw that today, where it was just 2 plays. The 2 big touchdowns were just completely terrible. Darnell Mooney didn't even really have to break a tackle. It was just completely the worst pursuit angle you could take from Brandon Stevens. He ended up running into, I can't remember who was in coverage. Maybe it was Chuck Clark. Ran into him, and then they both fall down. It's like, I don't know. It's so often where it's just, oh yeah, they're just not covering this guy completely. And I've actually seen interviews with guys that have played on Wink Martindale's defense before. I don't think it was when it wasn't in Baltimore, but they've said sometimes Wink Martindale will intentionally leave people open and just be like, yeah, let him get open. It's okay. We're going to get to him before that. That's because, I mean, that's why we see all the time where it's just like, oh, yeah, they're not covering him. That's because he just, like, part of his defense is letting people get open to allow for better pressure, but the Ravens just don't have guys that can get in other than Tyus Bowser today. Shout out to him. He balled out.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely had a good comeback game. He needed that. Even shout out to Jalen Ferguson on special teams as well. So
yeah.
I guess for me right now, it's hard to take some positives out of this win because it was such a piss poor fashion of a win. So I don't know what to say, Ravens fans. I'm sorry, TCB fans. I'm sorry, but I'm not satisfied with this win. I know we have those, heart attack, have your Tylenol on standby, have 911 on speed dial. But I don't know. This game, it showed me that Lamar Jackson really is a key and intricate point to this team. And we talked about it before the game. Greg Roman has to have a better play calling game, and the play calling, it wasn't the best, and the play on the field, it didn't make it no better. So I'm not really happy with this win. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and the issue is that because Tyler Huntley was starting, it's not going to fall back on the coaching staff.
No, not at all.
Like if this was a Lamar game, like they could look at it like, come on, Greg Roman, like you got to do better. But the issue is it wasn't Lamar Jackson, it was Tyler Huntley. So there were very little expectations for how this offense would perform. And it took them a while for them to start utilizing Huntley's legs. Like it was like, I don't know. It was just one of those games where I felt like they started off way too conservative because it was Tyler Huntley's first start. But I don't understand why teams don't, like, when somebody makes their first start, why don't you just try and, like, absolutely go crazy? Like, have them take a deep shot. There was not one deep shot today. I think the farthest ball that Tyler Huntley threw was the one on the final drive that almost got intercepted. That was maybe a 25-yard throw. Ravens got bailed out, but like they were not throwing the ball.
Yeah, this definitely should have been a game. Like, all right, Tyler, all right, Snoop, we know your natural abilities. We know what you can do. We're going to put you in the best position forward to help you get comfortable and help us get a win. And I don't feel like they kind of did that.
So do you think we talked about this before the stream. Was this a 2018 rookie Lamar game plan? I feel like it was. I felt like it was very similar to that, where it was like, okay, nothing too difficult. It's going to be a lot of running, and we're going to hope our defense can get the job done.
You know what? The way this game was played, yeah, definitely was. I mean, they definitely used Devontae Freeman and Latavius Murray a lot. The beginning of the game, they even tried to use Pat Ricard in the screen game. I don't know why we didn't utilize him anymore. Honestly, I did see that we, Nick Bull did get out there and run a route, but I think he was just kind of a little skittish of catching the ball because he's just coming back from the injury.
Yeah.
I get that, not one.
The throw was a bit high.
Yeah. We all know Sleep's not, not very accurate, So yeah, it was definitely one of those 28 style of scheme games.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Chief says surprised there weren't more quarterback designed runs. I felt like they ran it a little bit and it like worked a lot of time. Like they would run the rollout, like, hey, this is just a complete designed run. But then they would also do it where like, oh, we're gonna fake like it's a designed rollout run. And then they had the Mark Andrews hitch that stops and he starts cutting to the left. Like, I don't know. I felt like that was good, but it was like they could have used his legs a little bit more. But I mean, he played well. He missed a couple of throws, but
Yeah.
that's about it. Like I felt like he did his job. 10 incompletions. The issue was like I want to know how many completions he had that gained negative yardage because there were 3 to 5 times where it was check down, tackle away behind the line of scrimmage when it's like, okay, man, just throw it away at this point. Like you don't need to check it down to Latavius Murray with a linebacker right in front of him when he's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Like I don't know. I don't know. What do you think Harbaugh was thinking during the Andrews interception?
Honestly, I was thinking that Harbaugh may want to put him, deep in the bench, put him in the doghouse. But Harbaugh probably said at the same time, "Well, damn, Trace not going to do any better. So, hell, you gotta pick it up. You gotta pick it up, Ty. Gotta pick it up, Sneak. Come on, man. Come on. It's like you want to put somebody in the dog. You want to put him in the doghouse, but you couldn't put him in the doghouse. You gonna sit him down to swap in Trace McSorley. I don't think it would have got any better. So that's why.
Yeah, definitely. Cam Neal, this is a good point. Snoop just stood there on some, allowing himself to be hit on the run. And when he was running around in the back, like the offensive line is bad, but the quarterback can help. And Lamar does the same thing at times as well. Yeah, there were definitely times where like he was trying to do too much, like escape the pocket, and like is taking these sacks that could very well like not have taken place. But
yeah, I mean, Cam, we done talked about that a lot this year. We need, we need our quarterback to have a Michael Vick-esque type of season. Because of the poor O line play right now. I mean, standing in the pocket really not going to help a QB's career. At the end of the day, that's why left tackles get paid the most money on the offensive line is because Lawrence Taylor putting a hurting on I believe Joe Theismann, and Joe Theismann was in the pocket. So when you got a bad O line, when things ain't working, you gotta make some things happen. And we know when Lamar is contract year, he's still trying to prove it to himself, the league, everybody that he could be a pocket passer. Man, forget all that noise. We're sitting at 6-3. Do what you can do to get the win, and also keep yourself healthy in the long run as well. Because at the end of the day, we're still going to need you. You're still going to need yourself to get that big money, to get those endorsement deals, to even get yourself that Super Bowl that you've been talking about. So you got to make yourself available in every time you're on the field.
yeah, and Sick Kicks, thank you so much for the super chat. Say shout out to Tyus Bowser. He balled out. Wink, shake of my head. Yeah, Tyus Bowser, best game of the season for Tyus Bowser. Got the big time strip sack on Justin Fields and then got another sack. So, I mean, I was actually surprised at how little we were seeing Adafe and how much more we were seeing Tyus in the pass rush. Did you notice that, or was that just me that noticed that? I don't know.
Yeah, I did see that a little bit more. I don't know what that was, honestly. You can't blame nothing on the Adafe. I mean, because of the style of defense that we're running and the schematics that we're using in this defense, we're not really working on him to be a pure defensive end right now. You're expecting a lot out of him. I mean, this is almost the same situation with Matthew Judon. Hey, and me and McConnell and myself all last season, we used to talk about Judon, something terrible. And right now, we understand what the issue was. It was the scheme. It was a scheme. And we took a number one pick on a developmental high profile player, and it could either go from bad to worse, or worse to bad. So we gotta make something happen.
Yeah. And Brock asks, still glad we traded Orlando Brown and replaced him with someone cut from the Steelers. I am. I do think that it was still a worthwhile trade. Like Orlando, if Orlando Brown was playing really well, I would think not, but Orlando Brown hasn't played well this year. And so like he has the same problems that Alejandro Villanueva has, where if he's going up against somebody with some speed and some quickness, he's not going to be able to get around. And the Ravens had to scheme around him in the run game, blocking wise, because he can't get outside and he can't make those blocks. So, I think the Ravens are completely okay with that trade and how that went through. And also he wasn't going to re-sign here. So I feel like it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, he's still like you said, he's still struggling. He's struggling hard as hell out there in Kansas City. I mean, you went from a more running style of offense to more of a passing offense, and then on top of that, you want to play left tackle. Granted, he did step in for Ronnie Stanley. He played lights out, in my opinion. But you got to think about even though he played lights out, what type of offense were we running? Where all he has to do is go straight forward. He didn't have to go into pass pro protection like that. And if he did, Lamar Jackson evaded, defenders, coming from that side. So I mean, I'm not upset with the trade at all. I mean, we end up getting, the picks out of it. So, it definitely still beneficial to us. I mean, yes, Villanueva is he is getting beat. We are seeing it that he's trying to get away with like those veteran moves and stuff like that. But he's getting exposed. We're seeing that. We're living and learning. We're going through it right now. So it's rough being 7-3 with this with the replacement team right now.
Yeah. And that just shows how good Lamar is. The Ravens being, 7-3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pulling up the standings right now just to see what the playoff projection would be. Like right now, Tennessee Titans 8-3, Ravens 7-3, and then it's the Patriots at 7-4, Chiefs at 6-4. Like if right now the playoffs start today, the Ravens are playing the Chargers in the wild card round. Like, and then the Patriots are playing the Bills in the wild card. Chiefs are playing the Steelers in the wild card. So like, the Ravens are one game behind the Titans, but the benefit is they've played one less game. So they're technically, I think they're half game back from the Titans. So, the Ravens could very well catch up to them, and potentially get that one. I don't know. It is a very tough schedule, but there's a lot of things to be happy about because this team just needs to get hot. This team is yet to get hot, and they're still able to win some games, which I think is huge for looking at what they can be in the playoff stretch because they're still somehow winning. Yeah. And they're beating some good teams like the Colts.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like, and also people were counting out the Chiefs. The Chiefs are now winning their division right now, and everybody was clowning on them. Like, I don't know. But all right, let's look at what are you guys saying in the comments. So Need to get that win now. It gets real with the schedule coming up. Yeah, this is a big win. Like, even though I don't think it's like a momentum carrying win, it's just like it needed to happen. We've talked about the schedule off the top of my head. I believe it's Browns, Steelers, Packers, Bengals, Rams, Steelers, I want to say, is the remaining schedule, which is just brutal. And so like getting that win is huge for the rest of it. But do you think it could build momentum, or do you think it's just kind of like biding the time?
The way we won this game, I don't think it's a momentum builder for the offense. Maybe for the defense, just for the simple fact that we came away with a takeaway. I mean, we showed that we can make stops, but when the offense does not, prolong the play or keeps up the time of possession, that hurts us in the long run because it's just since the season started, it's been given that the defense will give up a big play, and sometimes either the big plays can either hurt us down the long run, or offense is willing to bounce. It can make a bounce back. So this definitely was a bounce back game that we needed to win since that Miami loss. I definitely feel like with the guys getting the sacks, being able to strip the ball, come away with a takeaway. I feel like that's a momentum for the defense. Granted, secondary, played it not played a little bit. They did play poor, but that was I said it was more of a win for that front seven because we always been talking about the front seven, and the front seven hasn't been playing the best, but they played a fair better game today as well because I believe Justin Houston got a sack as well.
Yeah, Justin Houston got a big sack, and it was on a Patrick Queen blitz where Patrick Queen forced Justin Fields to step up in the pocket. Justin Fields and then Justin Houston was able to hop on his back and bring him down. So like that's really cool that the Ravens were actually able to utilize Patrick Queen a little bit. Good game from him today. It's just going to be really interesting to see how the Ravens approach the rest of the year. I saw somebody comment, I'll find the comment. They're talking about the Browns. Brock said, scared of the Browns D-line. The Ravens in the next 3 weeks play the Browns and the Steelers. They play the Browns twice. Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, I believe, are the two best edge rushers in the NFL. And the opposite guys from them are Jadeveon Clowney, who's really good. And honestly, I don't think I know who the Steelers did because they cut Melvin Ingram. So I don't actually know who anybody know who I know they have Cam Hayward and Stephon Tuitt, but they're not really edge rushers. Those are more the interior guys. I don't know who's playing edge rusher opposite them, but I guess I'll figure that out tonight.
That's still gonna play a main factor because sometimes we have given up plays from the inside pressure. I mean, hell, we have seen Bradley Bozeman get beat a couple times. We have seen Kevin Zeitler got pushed to the backfield. So I mean, sometimes it really doesn't matter where the pressure is coming from. It really comes down to what we do.
Let's go Raiders. Let's go. Thank you for the update, Howard. Thank you. Actually, do we want the Raiders or the Bengals to win? They're both 5-4. Bengals winning, it would put the Bengals at 6-4. They're closer in the division, but the Ravens get to play them again. So if the Ravens can beat them, that's interesting. But then the Raiders, they just have the tiebreaker over the Ravens.
I would take Las Vegas. I would take Las Vegas over Cincinnati for the simple fact, Cincinnati came out and played against us. I'm not taking no chance with them. I don't want to be in another game where it comes down to us playing against them and like us being a higher seed. So yeah, I'll take Las Vegas beating them.
Yeah, and Sick Kicks, thanks so much for the super chat. Says if this team's fully healthy, Super Bowl bound. I think so. I think if the Ravens had all of their players, like obviously you can expect like some injuries along the way or whatever. They missed a couple games, but like if they had JK, if they had Ronnie, I'm not even bringing up Gus, but also Gus and Marcus Peters. That is, and now also Deshaun Elliott, who also got hurt. That is huge. I mean, that right there, I think would definitely make them the front runner in the AFC, like by far. Like, I don't know. Do you think that they're like, I don't know how many, here's an even better question. How many of those players would the Ravens need to be the clear favorite in the AFC? Would it just be Marcus Peters? Would it be JK and Marcus Peters? Ronnie?
I would say two, honestly.
Two?
I'm gonna say Ronnie Stanley and Marcus Peters for reason of that, when if you got good O-line play, that helps you out a lot. If you have your Pro Bowler on that offensive line, that helps you out a lot. I will go with any two running backs, any day in that backfield with Lamar Jackson. Hell, it literally could have been a Tyshawn Williams, Nate McCrary show for the past 9-10 weeks. But they obviously didn't have enough faith and trust in those two, undrafted rookies. I don't know why. They could. it wouldn't have hurt us if we would have been rocking with those two guys versus rocking with Latavius, Devontae, and Le'Veon. So I mean, I definitely feel like that could have worked out as well. But Marcus Peters definitely, just because yes, he gives up big plays, but also he does make up for it for the fact that he does make those interceptions. Sometimes get those pick sixes, and also that would have gave that would give Marlon Humphrey a breather, not him being overworked. Because it still looked like sometimes he looks a little winded. He looks a little tired. He looks a little overworked. So, well, Baltimore get up. I definitely can understand, what you're saying, Dobbins. But if they utilize Dobbins more in the pass and checkdowns, I would give you that. But right now, even when Lamar's out there, he really doesn't use the checkdowns like that. So I'm gonna stick with Stanley and Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Dobbins would be huge just to have an explosive back.
Yeah.
Like being able to run the ball and just know that they could break one, because like if Latavius gets to the second level, if Devontae gets to the second level, they're not going to break it. They may get 10 yards, 15 yards. If JK gets to the second level, he could make the safety miss and take it 80 yards. So I feel like that's like just a fact. And also like in the check down game, like if the Ravens check it down to him and he's at the line of scrimmage, he could make the linebacker miss and get 10 yards, get that first down on second and long. Like I don't know. I feel like that's a big thing that they're missing. But Plug Cap says random, but I think Lamar truly believes this O-line is good. Lamar has full confidence in the guys around him. He always does. Lamar's never going to go out there and say like, oh no, like they got to play. Like it's always him. Like he puts everything on himself. Like So I mean that's just his leadership style. Is like everybody is good enough. It's not something that he's going to look at as a weakness or anything like that. So yeah, I would say Lamar does think the O-line's good. But
yeah, with that one, it's literally like like you said, he knows how to handle the media. He's a captain, he's a leader. At the end of the day, he's not going to bash nobody in front of the media. Why and cause controversy. We got enough stuff that we dealing with in house as it is already. So there's no reason to bring any more attention to us right now. Even with Earl Thomas situation, we didn't really know what was going on until it was time to let Earl Thomas go. So I would give it to the Ravens organization. They don't let a lot of stuff get out there in front of the media because they clearly don't believe in those outside distractions.
I think that's pretty fair. Also, I see people bringing up LJ Fort. Yeah, I don't know. Josh Bynes has been doing really well though, so I don't see that as big of a loss just because of how well Bynes has been playing. I feel like he's replaced him pretty well.
And you got to think about when Fort was there, he played more on the weak side anyway. So Josh Bynes and LJ Fort IQ level and what they bring is a little different.
Yep. MH says Bears are a bad team. Bad team. We won by one play. Yeah, but we're missing our quarterback. If we're missing our quarterback, as long as you win, that's all that matters. All that matters is if you win when you're missing your quarterback or the most important player. Like if the Titans are missing Derrick Henry for a game, they don't care how that offense plays if they get the win. That's all you need. Ravens missing Lamar. He's their entire team, or he's their entire offense. They won. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And yeah, we also had Hollywood out, so that hurts too. But Fields is out too. Andy Dalton right now is better than Justin Fields is the issue with that. And the reason why they play Fields is because he's young and they're trying to get him experience. But like it was seen very quickly that Andy Dalton knows how to deal with a lot more situations. He can deal with the blitz. Justin Fields is too young to be able to, analyze the blitz and all that stuff. So we see Andy Dalton go up to the line and he goes, check, 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 check. Now let's get that double move on the outside. So those are the biggest things that are happening is like Andy Dalton's just more experienced. Like, I wouldn't say like Justin Fields going out. That actually helped them because Andy Dalton is more experienced, and the Ravens feast on inexperience at quarterback. I mean, look at what they did to Justin Herbert. Like, all the inexperienced quarterbacks they faced this year have struggled.
This is facts.
But let's see here. We had an intercept, or we had a quarterback. I was trying to remember what autocorrects to Ann. It is QB, who just won his first game without his starting wide receiver. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the Bears, they have a good defense, but they were missing Khalil Mack, which is tough. But 14 in a row against the NFC. Yeah, Lamar's never lost to the NFC still, but
it's definitely good to keep that streak going. Let's see what we do against the Packers.
And then the Rams. So, and then whatever team's in the Super Bowl potentially. So, Yep. All right. Any other questions, guys? I know there's other games on, so it's like typically we don't go for too long after the 1 o'clock games.
Still play prime time tonight, so we need them to take an hour.
Oh yeah.
I think the Browns are pulling it out right now as we speak.
Yeah, I believe the Browns ended up winning their game, so
all I can say is it's going to be very interesting how things play out. Just got to see how we operate. Once we get into the playoffs, I feel like that second season is really going to be a testament of how we adjust. Excuse me, and if we're going to still come out the same way, because if we do not come out fast out the gate and really make people pay, I don't know. I want us to definitely make that run, but we got to see how things play out.
Absolutely, and I think this will be the last question that we answer. We're scared of the Patriots. I am. Bill Belichick is never somebody that I ever want to play against, and they have a really good defense there. They've got a good offense. Like, it's not really a lot of Mac Jones. It's really rushing the football, but Mac Jones is good enough to make some throws where if he's got a clean pocket, he can make the throw. And so, like, with that combination with a really stout defense, I think that's scary. And with Bill Belichick as the head coach, I think that's a really scary team to play.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say this defense almost reminds me of that defense with Teddy Bruschi, Ty Law, Rodney Harrison, those guys. And, you still had a young Tom Brady as well. I mean, instead of a young Tom Brady, you have a rookie in Mac Jones. Mac Jones is definitely, he's a solid guy. And I give it to Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels and those guys out there. They make adjustments to their personnel and they make things work in order for them to win. They don't need a high profile guy. We've seen this many times in New England. They just need guys that understand their assignment and just go out there and execute. So I'll definitely say, they are a team to watch out, in that second season. And Bill Belichick got a little monkey on his back too, in regards of, not him having Tom Brady and Tom Brady winning that Super Bowl last year and things of that nature. So, I definitely say that they are a team to, keep an eye on.
I know it would suck because, like, we're Ravens fans, but how amazing would it be if it was a Patriots-Buccaneers Super Bowl? Brady versus Belichick in the Super Bowl?
That would be needed. I think both of them would retire. That's like two gladiators finally meeting up, and hey, one's got to go. So I definitely feel like that would be an awesome Super Bowl.
Yeah, but all right, guys, kind of midday. Go check out the other games going on. Go Raiders. Hopefully the Chargers are able to pull it out in prime time tonight. No TJ Watt, no Minka Fitzpatrick for the Steelers tonight. So, that should be a good one to watch. But thanks everybody for coming into the post game stream, all the questions, everything like that. But thank you all. We'll see all of you again next time.